Hello everyone, welcome back to another one of my monthly forecasts. If this is the first time you're seeing me, my name is Angela Peterson and I am a psychic medium and shamanic practitioner in Sedona, Arizona. In this video, we're going to be looking at the overall energy for September 2024. Before I get started, I would like to make a couple of announcements. First, I wanted to let you know that myself and my amazingly talented friend and coworker, Breeze Johansson, will be hosting a live Q&A on September 15th. This Q&A is free for anybody to join. We will start by tuning into the collective energies and then we will allow any questions that you may have. So if you are interested in joining the live Q&A, I will be posting the link below this video, and you'll also be able to find the event on my events page on my website, which is healingwithangela.com. That as well will be posted below this video. Also, if you have been enjoying my monthly forecast, then I would greatly appreciate it if you would please like this video and share it with your friends. And also please subscribe to my channel here on YouTube, as that will give you notifications for when I upload any videos. And I'm sorry to say that I will not be creating an extended version of this forecast for September. I have so much going on and I just don't have the time or the energy to make the second video. It was hard enough getting this one out, I'll be honest. So hopefully some of you aren't too bummed about that. But I will plan on making an extended version for October. Now, without further ado, let's get into the energies for September. I'm curious though how your August went, because August for me was a very intense month and I was feeling quite a lot of anxiety, overwhelmed. The collective energies were pretty intense, and I did hear from quite a few people that they were experiencing the same thing. So I am hoping that you all made it through August okay. I do think that the energies will be lightening up a bit for the month of September. There may be some lingering energies carried through, kind of the aftermath of anything that did come up or was triggered in the month of August. We'll still be working through some of that energy in the month of September, but we will also be able to connect a lot more with higher frequencies, especially from the heart center. Okay, so I'm going to start by talking about the swan spirit that showed up. This is the primary animal for the month of September. The swan spirit represents, it says on the card, take time for a deep dive. So the swan spirit represents transformation. It also represents diving deep into our unconscious to reveal the things that we need to in order to make the changes that we need to make, or to create the transformation that we're looking to create in our lives. There are a lot of similarities in the energy of swan spirit that are coming up as well from an astrological perspective, because we do have a full moon lunar eclipse happening in Pisces on September 17th. When I journeyed into the medicine of the swan, the image that I received, I saw a swan floating in a pond, and first it was in the sunshine. I could see like full daylight and everything appeared very clear, and it was, it was a beautiful image. But it ended up shifting and it turned into nighttime with the full moon illuminating the pond, and I could see all the ripple effects on the pond, and it was a really beautiful image. And then it started to kind of morph and shift a little bit, and I started to notice that I was feeling a little bit of fear come up, and the moon, as it started to move around and act as like a spotlight. And when it landed on my face, I could feel this heart pounding sort of fear and a little bit of panic energy come up and out. So my feeling is that this full moon lunar eclipse may be bringing up some things that we need to look at that may make us very uncomfortable. But I think one thing to remember about this is that a lot of the fear that we're experiencing is based on perception. When we're so focused on one thing and we can't really see the bigger picture, sometimes that one thing can activate fear, and we don't realize that there's a larger story and a bigger picture that we are not aware of. And if we were, we probably wouldn't be feeling the fear that we're experiencing. It's definitely normal to experience fear when we come to an ending. And that's really what this full moon lunar eclipse is about. It's about completion. And Pisces is the sign of compassion, of service, and also emotional attachments. There's quite an emphasis on the throat chakra because I'm feeling so much energy in my throat chakra right now. Even as I'm trying to speak and share this message, I can feel that sort of heart-pounding feeling I was experiencing in my vision. As I'm trying to give a message to you, I feel like I'm stumbling over my words. So it may be that self-expression is a really big deal this month, and it may be too that our fear is highlighted when it comes to connection and connecting with others, like expressing ourselves and sharing what we really feel and what we really want. I think that we're going to be facing some fears around this when it comes to being vulnerable and putting ourselves out there. So I know that in the August forecast, I did talk about creativity coming up. And creativity, I feel like did come up for a lot of people, but I don't know if the action or the movement on the creativity actually happened. I feel like if it didn't happen in August, then September is definitely the month for self-expression and creative self-expression. So it's acting on those inspirations and creative ideas that came to you during the month of August. So we do have the heart chakra coming out here. So the combination of these are really making me feel like community and connection with others is going to be very important for us to focus on creating more of this month. I feel like we as a collective, we do need to learn how to relate better with each other. We definitely are learning more about ourselves. And as we learn more about ourselves, then we learn more about other people. We have more understanding and more compassion, right? Which is that sign of Pisces. So I feel like the endings that are taking place have a lot to do with relationship and how we relate to people, whether we relate from a place of insecure attachment or from a place of security. So this full moon lunar eclipse can help us to create an ending in the way that we have been sacrificing ourselves, and recognize that owning our true values and true self-care can help us create more balance in the way that we have been giving and receiving with others. Some of you may be at the end of your ropes, and it's this pressure and overwhelm that is helping you to realize what your true values and needs really are. I think that this lunar eclipse can highlight the areas where we relate to people on a more superficial level and the need for a deeper connection and deeper relating to people in general. This is a month where the biggest challenge really is going to be vulnerability. And your greatest blessings will come from facing that challenge and allowing yourself to be vulnerable. I think a really great question to ask ourselves this month is, do our lives look the way we want them to? Do we connect with people the way that we want to connect with people? You know, we tend to put things off a lot in our lives of, oh, I'll get to that tomorrow, or, oh, you know, I'll put myself out there then. It's like we hold ourselves back out of fear, you know? And I think that's kind of part of what's being highlighted here for me even. Because we have this card, Present Lives, that also came out. And it came out with the angels and the heart chakra. And I really do feel like, oh, and you can see she has her hands being held in a heart as well. There's a very large emphasis definitely on connecting to people through our heart space. It's like being really vulnerable and maybe intimacy. And I'm not talking about necessarily sexual intimacy, though yes, that's part of it, but intimacy on an emotional level. And this has been coming up a lot with my clients as well. And you know, intimacy represents into me see. So it's, are we really letting ourselves be seen? How connected are we to people, really? Do we share what is on our hearts? Do we share the pain that's there? Do we share the heaviness that's there? Do we feel like we're received? And are we receiving others as well? I would say that it's possible that loneliness is somewhat of a theme, or at least addressing loneliness this month is going to be important. Loneliness is different than being alone. So loneliness is an internal separation, because you can be in a crowded room with people and still feel lonely. And what really creates that feeling is that you don't feel seen, or you don't feel heard, even when you are talking to people or quote unquote connecting with people. You're not really connecting, right? That's that intimacy piece. When we really feel seen and we feel heard, then we don't feel lonely. We don't feel alone. And all of the ways that we hold ourselves back from this is the fear that we need to face this month, is how we keep ourselves separate from, and have the courage to connect, have the courage to share. The truth is that we need people. We are a socially dependent species. And the more we advocate for ourselves, the more we speak up and we say, this is who I am, this is what I need, then we give ourselves the message that we care about us and that we have our own backs. And so that creates more trust, and it creates more resiliency inside of us. So put yourselves out there this month. Have the courage to take that first step. Have the courage to be vulnerable and to face the difficult things internally and externally. And please know that there are so many energies, entities, non-physical beings who are really truly supporting you through this process. You're not alone. There are a lot of people who feel the same way, and you will find that out when you connect with them. And then you get to feel it together. So take care of yourselves this month and move toward what you want and what you need. Take care.